In our previous video, we looked at how we can synchronize a SharePoint site to our computer, whether that be Windows or Mac. And we did that using the sync function and using the OneDrive tool here to add that. So if I go into OneDrive, click into settings, if you remember, we had under our OneDrive here the operations documents site or finance site synchronized. So there's another way to do this. And so this method I would recommend, and Microsoft recommend, if you have one of the following two scenarios. You either have a lot of SharePoint sites that you're managing and you have data spread across, or you have lots of very large files. So you may not want to use this sync SharePoint site feature under those particular situations where you have many sites or lots of large files. The second option we're going to look at now is how to add a shortcut to a SharePoint site into our OneDrive. And that reduces a lot of the synchronization and management and headache that comes with that when you have a large number of sites or a lot of large files. So how do we do that? What are we talking about? Let's first of all open up our OneDrive and go into My Files. And this is our OneDrive as it stands at the moment. Okay, and if I go into File Explorer, where we're synchronizing that as well, here is my OneDrive. Now let's say I wanted to add a shortcut to the operations SharePoint site to my OneDrive. How do I do that? It's very simple. Using the techniques we used in our previous video, let's go back to our apps and click on SharePoint. We would search for operations, the site that we want to add as a shortcut, and into documents. So it's the document library specifically that you're creating a shortcut to. You may have other document libraries that you want to add shortcuts instead. And when you're in the document library you want to have visibility of, just click on the button up here, add shortcut to OneDrive. If you can't see it, it's possibly under the three dots here. So let's do that, add shortcut to OneDrive. Now, word of warning before I click this, if you are already synchronizing a SharePoint site, you cannot then add a shortcut to OneDrive. It's one or the other. You can't do both. So if you're already synchronizing, you'd need to follow our previous instructions how to free up space and then unsync the folder, remove it from your computer, and then come back into the SharePoint site, and then you can add the shortcut to OneDrive. Let's click Add Shortcut to OneDrive. Okay, added one shortcut to My Files in OneDrive. And we get a little notification here from OneDrive saying we've now got a shortcut that is synchronizing. Let's see what that looks like. Let's go to OneDrive in the web first of all, under My Files. And if we just go back home, My Files, just to refresh that. And you'll see now we have Operations Documents with a little shortcut icon there. If I click on it, it will take me straight into our SharePoint site. So I can see Finance there. There's my files. I can edit them as normal. What does that look like in File Explorer or Finder? Well, let's go into our OneDrive here on the computer, and you'll see here I've got a little shortcut icon there, and I've also got another shortcut icon there next to the status column. This is telling me this is a shortcut to a SharePoint site. If I double click on it, I'm still within OneDrive. You'll notice here in the path OneDrive, Extreme Training, Operations Documents, Finance. There are my files. Very, very simple. And it saves you having to have lots of SharePoint sites listed under your company name, and it stops OneDrive having to manage large volumes of files, which can become problematic when you have very high numbers of files or very large files. So adding a shortcut is a good way to deal with your SharePoint synchronization and making things accessible in this type of situation. To remove the shortcut is just as simple. Let's go back to our documents here. Here's the SharePoint site. Let's go back to My Files. If I just want to remove the shortcut, I can do so by clicking the three dots and remove shortcut, like so. And the shortcut's now gone. And if I go back to File Explorer, you'll see the shortcut has gone. Just be super careful if you are syncing that folder and you've made it permanently on your device. Don't use the delete function in Windows to unsync it. That will delete the contents of the SharePoint site. You won't make any friends by doing that. Use the remove shortcut function. Let's do that one more time and show how we can remove the shortcut from within File Explorer. So we've recreated the shortcut. There's our little notification. If I go into my locally synced OneDrive, there's my shortcut there. I can right click on that, and under OneDrive here I can remove shortcut, like so. Don't use the delete function. There we go. It's now removed. Much simpler than synchronization, much easier to manage, and I'm sure you'll find that helpful.